Hello everyone, Discord here and welcome back to another Planet Zoo real life inspiration video. Today we are looking at the European badger. I hope you're itching for some badger inspiration. See what I did there? No, let's get started. The first zoo we're looking at today is Dierenpark Amersfoort. We're in the kind of Europe area of the zoo and we're entering the burrow. And this is this big artificial burrow made out of faux rock that is a little bit too smooth, maybe a bit too clean here and there. I saw them making off and they were really proud to show off the rock work that they were doing here. But honestly, I mean, you don't see much of it because of how dark it is in here. Anyway, normally I would make some recordings with my phone camera, which is a little bit better in the dark as my GoPro. But yeah, sadly I don't have any for now, so we'll have to just do it with this. What you can see is these tunnels that are kind of like in the wall, and in there is a little bit of light so that you can actually see a little bit into the burrows. But yeah, I don't think I really saw a badger very clearly. I think you might see a little bit in there. But yeah, let's just go outside of the burrow again, where we do have an outdoor enclosure as well, which I think might be my favorite one for this video. What you can see over here is that there is a little bit of a dry moat made out of that kind of corrugated metal type stuff, but it's such a shallow moat, like you really don't need a lot of height to make it escape proof for these badgers, and that allows you to create such a beautiful enclosure where you almost don't see the moat. It just looks like one landscape that the badgers are able to walk through. So yeah, super awesome, I love that one. Next up we have Anholter Schweiz, which is a Wildpark in Germany. And they all have relatively simple enclosures, and this one's no exception. It's just a very simple fence, but it does give the badgers quite a lot of space. There is some shelters in there. Yeah, I'm a decently big fan of this one. I of course did not see it in the summer. I think in the summer it would be a lot more lush and beautiful. And you know, being in the forest like this is always nice. We do also have an indoor view over here in this little shelter, but it is closed off. They got like tie rips. They tie rip this thing to the wall because on the inside over here is a little baby, so they weren't allowing visitors in here to get the mom and the baby over there. Oh my god, look at it, it's so small. It's like a little sausage. Yeah, they wanted to give them some rest, so that's why you weren't allowed inside of the indoor building. But luckily with my camera I could kind of block out the reflections and zoom in a little bit to record this footage, because my god, is it adorable. I have no idea what they're doing, but it's cute. Anyway, next up is the Zoo of Dortmund. We have this beautiful building over here. That's not for the badgers. This is the badger enclosure. It's quite a eyesore next to that nice modern wooden building. But yeah, it's very simple once again. A bit on the small side, I would say. Just a cage. Yeah, it's really just a cage. Even with the closed top over there, making it fully escape-proof. It looks like there maybe used to be some indoor viewing over there, but either the glass was too dirty or it was too dark. I couldn't see anything in there. And then over here, there's another side to this, so they've got two sides. I guess they can separate the badgers if need be. There were some apples on the ground, and the badgers were quickly coming out of their indoor area to quickly grab one and run away again. So whenever like the visitors here, I would tell them like, yeah, there is actually a badger here. You just need to be patient. But no one was patient enough to wait for the badger to show up for 5 seconds to grab an apple and then leave again. So that's their loss, because look at how cute they are. Very cool. But yeah, very simple enclosure here in Dortmund. Not much else to see. So let's move on to the next zoo, which is the domain of the Caves of Han. And we've got this ginormous habitat over here, which is a mixed habitat for like Przewalski's wild horse, all sorts of deer, mouflon, tons of stuff, right? And badger. Look at that. That's a badger burrow. Not really like a zoo enclosure. This is literally just a wild badger that decided to make a burrow here in the zoo. But I mean, it's a badger in a zoo. It's really cool. They put up a little educational sign for it. I think it's absolutely awesome, and it was so cool to see this. Of course, I didn't see any badgers. They were probably very deep down in that burrow, but I mean, this is so cool. I absolutely love this. So yeah, even the second little education sign over there about the burrow, super cool. Next up, another wild park. This is Lüneburger Heide. And yeah, again, a very, very simple enclosure over here. There aren't really that many high-end badger enclosures, sadly, especially with the little tub in the middle there. Like, what even is happening here? But what I do like to see is, once again, a very low fence. Like, you don't need a very high fence for these badgers. They're not very agile, dexterous, or anything. Just low fence, some hot wire just in case, and that's all you need. So there is also, once again, some indoor viewing over here. Definitely a very common thing for the badgers. Two separate kind of indoor parts that can be separated if need be, but right now the two badgers were kind of just vibing over there together. So yeah, super cute. There was also this enclosure which has a latch into the badger yard, so I guess the badgers can make use of this, but this was mostly I think intended for some like weasel type things or something like that. So yeah, more view of the indoor area, but that is already it for Lüneburger Heide. Then we go to Natuurhulpcentrum Opglabbeek. This is the Nature Help Center. Opglabbeek is what it translates to. And as that might indicate, this is not really a zoo, this is a rescue. So this is a sanctuary, a rescue, a rehabilitation area. These two enclosures over here are used to rehabilitate wild badgers that were either lost or injured, stuff like that. People call the animal ambulance, and they get sent here to get back up to strength, and then they get released into the wild again. So super cool to also be able to include some of that in here, just like we did in the seal video. But yeah, now we're already in Zoo Planckendael over here, which is probably my second favorite habitat. It's just a little bit more effort got put into this as some of the other ones we've seen. We've got some nice lush vegetation, got a nice rustic wall over here. It is interesting to note that they do have like a steep, just flat concrete wall on the inside. I guess there is some, just to eliminate any risk of some climbing taking place, I suppose. But yeah, just nice and lush. There is some theming with like a barrel and stuff like that on the inside, but nothing much. There is this little building that you can crawl into using this tunnel that's inside of this wall, and then you have some glass viewing that put you like inside of the enclosure, which is pretty cool. This gate over here I have beautiful memories of, because this is where I met Mr. Badger with a booger, which was very painful to watch. Actually, I'm gonna cut away from it pretty fast because I don't like looking at it. It makes me feel so sad for the badger. Really nice viewing over here with the ceiling. I absolutely love all the roots and stuff sticking through there. That's something I'm definitely going to use in Key Park. And then we've got an indoor viewing as well with the badger kind of just lying in the dirt there. But yeah, I really like the interior of this space. The faux rock here is pretty nice. We've got lots and lots of details with all the roots and stuff all around, and we can see there's also a little hole that would allow them to go into the backstage. Some education about burrows, and as we move outside we can see this is where that tunnel ends up, so you can actually go all the way through to the other side of the enclosure, having a pit stop at that little shack in the middle with the glass viewing. So yeah, really cool enclosure. I really like this one, as I've mentioned. And now it's time we move to the final zoo/rescue. Once again, we are at the Zonnegloed, the animal sanctuary, and over here we enter what seems to be kind of themed as a North American area, with this skull over here and the teepee-like structures. But this is actually the badger habitat over here. So I'm not sure if this used to be like a more North American themed area. Maybe this used to be for tree porcupine, something like that. I don't know. But we do have a badger habitat, and we have some indoor viewing here as well. Or yeah, indoor. It's just a little shelter, and we've got some windows there, but the reflections make it very hard to see inside. And then we got the enclosure right here. And what I thought was pretty interesting, not only do we have the kind of theming mismatch with a bit more North American theming and then the European badger, but I also noticed this concrete pool, which was relatively big, a lot bigger than any of the pools I've seen here. It almost made me think of like an otter habitat, and I guess it makes sense that if you have a animal sanctuary that you want to have your habitats be a little multifunctional. Like if you need to rescue another animal, then you can put that in there. So that made sense to me. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I thought that would be a good explanation as to why that might be. So of course it's not a criticism, it's an animal sanctuary. I absolutely appreciate the work that they do rescuing these animals. But yeah, that was it for this video. Hope you got some badger inspiration, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye!